Okay, now if you notice even in anthroposophy that at the upper levels of Gnosticism and even at some of the lower levels of their educational system, they teach reincarnation. Okay, so and if you study the Chinese triads, for example, you'll learn that some of these triad chiefs believe that they will reincarnate within 2 or 3 generations and then reap the blessings of what they've sown. That is what some of these people believe. Others believe that they're a bit more realistic, they're not sure about reincarnation, but they would rather rule in hell, you see. And Lucifer's done a very good job of making hell look appetizing. They do have a transgenerational plan, okay? This is something that's been going on. That's why I said it is institutionalized. Now, institutions, they're just as institutionalized as are the several Sufi tariqas. They go from generation to generation. You study the isnads, you study the ijazas, you can find out who did what. These people do the same thing, only they're more powerful. See, the Sufis have stayed away from worldly power, or they've been marginalized by those in power. This is something, another question I would like to explore. Why did not the superior metaphysics of Islam institutionalize itself in order to protect Islam? In other words, why isn't Al-Qadir coming around and warning the prime ministers of what's going on with the enemies, so that they can stop them and prevent this from happening to their people? I don't know the answer to that question. It's not taking place. That I know. The initiates within Islam are not protecting their people. It's not happening. Because all of the Muslims all around the world are submitting themselves to this system, except for those few who don't really understand it, and they're trying to fight against it. And even they are fighting in their ignorance, but they're fighting according to fitra. But this institutionalized wickedness, they have long-term plans, and we know that the jinn live quite a bit longer than humans do. 400 or 500 years, some of them, and some of them even longer. So they've been conspiring with these humans, generation after generation after generation. And you see this idea of anointing the king, the son's king, the priest, the high priest has to come and put the crown on the head. Napoleon is one of the few people that crowned himself emperor, you see. He didn't have a priest do that. But even he was under the control of the Jesuits, which is a different story. And when he turned on the Jesuits, they threw him out. You see. He became a Muslim, by the way. That's one of the little known secrets. So, yes, they go from generation to generation. And they have a long-term plan, and they say, okay, it's going to take us 150 years to do this. They know this. Our people, the Muslims, don't think this way. You're lucky if you can find people to think beyond the next season, you know, or the next meal. These people, they have long-term plans, and they're disciplined, and they stick to it, and they don't deviate. Muslims, on the other hand, have deviated quite a lot. Would you care to answer to add to that?
In my session.
In this session. Okay. Next question.
We have to start the next session, which is due in 2 minutes. So, do you answer the second question? I'm sorry.
Oh yes. Anthroposophy. Yeah. All right. 2 minutes. Anthroposophy. Rudolf Steiner is a brilliant man, and most of these people are. They're brilliant. They have superior IQs. IQs approaching 200. Okay, 200. I mean, I'm only at about 145. Last time it was measured. That was about 50 years ago. So I don't know how I'm doing now. What do you think, boss? Never mind, don't answer that. I'm being graded by one of my colleagues here. So, a brilliant man who was a member of these different organizations at an initiatory level. He was a member of the Freemasons. He was a member of the Ordo Templar Orientalis, which is the cult that the Queen's family belongs to, and people like Alistair Crowley belong to. He was a member of that. And what he professes externally is not necessarily what it was taking place esoterically. Because he's one of the main doctrines of anthroposophy is this, is that Lucifer or Iblis was maligned by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that Lucifer can be redeemed, and all you have to do is help me put these three rings together, and we'll get the power back. And then I'll share my glory with you if you help me. So they teach that Lucifer can be redeemed. They teach that God does not condemn someone to hell for eternity, that cannot be in the heart of God, you see. So they depart from this particular revelation, which has nothing to do with what we know is the pure monotheistic doctrine. Now, why do we follow that? I mean, has anybody here met God? I mean, I haven't, you see. I've met instances where I've had some sort of, divine moments, maybe even the theophany of the sorts, but I can't say. I'm not somebody who said, oh, I've experienced fana and I now, walk with God. No, I'm walking with my feet to the best that I possibly can. That's about as far as I can take it. But these people, they think that they know the secrets of God, and that what the revelation has taught is wrong, and that the rest of us have got it all wrong. God would never send somebody to hell, is what they're talking, and not even Lucifer, you see. So they teach, this is one of the biggest doctrines of the anthroposophists, which is grossly in error, that Lucifer can be redeemed. Lucifer hates us. Iblis hates us. And that's why he picks all these people against. That's another thing that you need to understand about these initiates. They're following Iblis, and Iblis pits them against each other, and Iblis hates them all. But Iblis makes them think that they're good Boy Scouts, you see, and that he's going to reward them, not God, you see. And the rest of us, those who follow in our fitra, we know that we can't get into heaven by good deeds. We know that if we get to heaven, it is by the mercy of Allah, and that alone. You see? But they teach it by good deeds. This is anthroposophy. Good deeds, you can do this, and then they strive, and they turn, and then you do all these good things, step by step by step, and he's trying to work out all these steps. I studied them for 14 years. Yeah? That's when I got to that door. That's when I heard that voice. It's not necessary. And I never opened that door. Thank God.
Thank you, Dr. Omar. Without further ado, may I invite Sheikh Imran to the next session. Thank you.
Say again. King's Creed. And the King's Creed and hand forgiveness.
الحمد لله وكفى والصلاة والسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى خصوصا على أفضلهم وخاتم النبيين محمد الأمين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وبعد. فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ونزلنا عليك الكتاب بيانا لكل شيء وهدى ورحمة وبشرى للمسلمين صدق الله العظيم. Brother Chairman, Dr. Omar Zaid, organizers of this session, brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It is not by accident, but by design, and He who is the wisest of all, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has commenced His last revelation at the beginning of Surah Al-Baqarah with a description of three kinds of people. 20 verses of the Quran were allocated for describing these three. The first 5 describe the believers. The second 2 describe the disbelievers, the kuffar. And then 13 verses were allocated for number 3. Sending a message right back at the very beginning of the Quran of the supreme importance of directing attention to the study of the third category. وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يَقُولُ آمَنَّا بِاللَّهِ وَبِالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ وَمَا هُمْ بِمُؤْمِنِينَ. And amongst mankind there are those who represent themselves, the people of religion, who worship the one God. But no, says Allah, they don't. They seek to deceive you. They seek to deceive Allah, but they deceive only themselves. In their hearts there is a disease, and Allah causes that disease to increase. When it is said to them, do not commit fasad on the earth, do not corrupt, and corrupt in such a way as to destroy the earth, the world. They say, no, we are not doing that. We are the peacemakers. We are the ones who want to set things straight. Allah says, no, they are the ones who are committing the fasad, but they don't recognize it. When it is said to them, why don't you believe the way the believers believe? They respond and display their contempt for those who have faith in Allah and who are true believers. And they call us the sufaha, the foolish people. But Allah says, no, they are the fools, but they don't know it. And then comes this very important part of the description of people number 3. And when they are closeted with their shayateen, and when they meet us who follow the way of religion, they say, oh, we are with you. But when they are closeted with their shayateen, they say, no, 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 we are with you. We are only mocking and deceiving them. This reference to a people who are going to be closeted with the shayateen who are going to be waging war on Islam, who are going to be people with PhDs in committing fasad, corrupting and destroying the world, turning mankind away from fitrah. This reference to shayateen is a sign for us. We wish to be able to study that. The Prophet said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, وَيُبْعَثُ مَعَهُ الشَّيَاطِينَ, that the shayateen are going to be raised with Dajjal, and they will serve it. And then he went on to describe one of the ways in which they will serve Dajjal. يُشَبِّهُونَ بِالْأَمْوَاتِ, they are going to assume the form of those who have died long before. So this person is going to come in front of you who died 40 years ago. He's standing in front of you. يَقُولُونَ لِلْحَيِّ, and then this person will speak to you who are alive and say to you, تَعْرِفُنِي أَنَا أَبُوكَ, what's wrong, my son? Don't you recognize me? I'm your father. أَنَا أَخُوكَ, what's wrong with you? Can't you recognize I'm your brother who died 40 years ago? أَوْ ذُو قَرَابَةٍ مِّنْكَ, what's wrong with you? Don't you recognize I'm your uncle or your nephew or someone close to you? The first step, of course, on the road to the fulfillment of this prophecy was cloning. And then after the cloning of sheep, you've got a cloning of human beings, so you will choose your baby, clone. And then the last step would be when the world of modern science would present to you, we've now brought the dead back to life. And this person is going to speak and say things which only your father could say, nobody else would know it. And so there will be absolutely startling evidence, convincing evidence that your father has indeed come back to life. And modern science has done the ultimate of bringing the dead back to life. When that happens, of course, the Hindus are going to be sharing lots of sweets, celebrating the validation of the theory of reincarnation. Lots of Muslims are going to be in a state of drift, not knowing how to respond. But those who truly follow Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam and hold on to the fitrah and are not brainwashed will say, get away from me, you Satan, because they recognize it. This passage from the Quran, this hadith, I believe is a suitable introduction to the importance of the subject of recognizing, I will use a big word now, recognizing a cosmological and a transcendental dimension to the study and analysis of events unfolding in the world today. That there are hidden forces at work that we refer to as the Occult. And it is not sufficient. It is not sufficient for us to use normal tools of political analysis, just politics. and to use normal tools of economic analysis to study economics. That you need a theory of knowledge, which would be adequate for addressing this data that unfolds in the world when you have these two actors as well, the ones you can see and the ones that you cannot see. Those of you who have read Jerusalem in the Quran, and I want to remind myself about to take the time now to read the hand of Iblis. Probably take about 2 weeks to read that book. And then on the news there's another one coming called Cain's Creed, which might be as big as this one. Oh. So we have to put aside the time to read these two books. Not only you, I have to find the time to read these two books, The Hand of Iblis and Cain's Creed. But back to the theory of knowledge, and to answer this question. In Surah Al-Kahf, there is a story of Musa alayhi salam, who gave a khutbah, and then when someone came to him and said, "What a wonderful khutbah, you must be the most learned of all men."